I'll let you weigh in on this in a second. In my opinion, no one person can claim in any iota of any lives saved by social distancing at this point, except for those lives that would have been lost by hospital healthcare overwhelm in certain susceptible communities. But we can't say that social distancing has taken us from 2 million to 60,000 in any way, shape, or form right now. That's probably just the model was wrong. What are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the way that model is done, and all models, they make us, or there has to be assumptions made on every input to the model. You're inputting into a formula, and you're getting a result. For every input, there's an assumption made. We don't know the R naught. We don't know the CFR. We don't know the effects. We don't fully know the effects of like sunlight and warm weather and humidity. It's like we're making some guesses based on what research we've done specifically to this and what we've seen in the past with similar viruses and similar infections. Something people don't understand, and I think it's because the media, regardless of which side they're on, they're spinning this as like, this is a completely novel, completely unexpected chain of events that there's either we should have been much more prepared for, or there's no way to prepare for. Either argument is flawed. The CDC, I mean, they publish guidelines every couple of years about what do you do during a pandemic, and they very clearly, you can go to the CDC's website and you can look at pandemic preparedness, influenza. The most recent one I think was 2017 or maybe 2018, and they stratify. It's like, if you're in a category 1, we're expecting fewer than 90,000 deaths, and so these are the recommendations, which are essentially nothing. Wash your hands. If it's going to be 1 million to 1.5 million, and it goes up. And in category 5, it's over 2 million deaths. And in category 5, you're supposed to implement all of these societal changes. And those things are exactly what we're doing. They're isolation, they're social distancing, it's closing down schools and businesses and non-essential services. It's everybody washing their hands. It's I don't think people wearing masks are in there even, but and all of that is the best response we have. Those are NPIs, non-pharmacological interventions. These are the best responses, the best interventions we have when we don't truly have control. And we don't truly have control, and we never do. So for people to go too far fear-based, my argument for the fear-based is, look, we're already doing everything. We're doing everything we know to do. We are literally doing everything. And more importantly, as you alluded to, we don't have any idea how much it works. We don't have any idea. When the estimate got downgraded to 240,000, that was with everything we're doing. That was well after we had started doing it was 2 weeks after we had already shut down the world, and it was still 240, and now it's down to 25% of that. So we don't know how much. If you look at Sweden's done things completely differently than we do. We won't know for a year and a half. Look at their data, look at our data. We don't know for sure that it's making any difference. We have states that are having really bad outbreaks that were some of the first to lock down. We have states that are having almost no lockdown, and they were the last ones to implement anything. And so the truth is we don't know. And so what you're talking about, sort of the assumption that people are making when they're having any of these arguments, is that you can ascribe causality to any of this data. Absolutely, you cannot. And we know this from all medical research. Causality is damn near impossible to show. Jumping off of the Empire State Building, all right, causality. We can say 100% of the time you're going to die, and that's going to be the cause, is the impact to the ground. But apart from that, man, we cannot say causality. And so when people, out in public are, getting so angry with each other that, they're calling the police, and they're just completely incensed and enraged that this person is killing people. That's the shouting down. That's the political part that's super unhelpful right now. And this has been done in a lot of things, right? So like, if you think of Kevin Hart, brilliant comedian, great guy, gets the opportunity of a lifetime and doesn't get to do it because he wrote a culturally insensitive joke 10 years ago. That's kind of a new phenomenon. And that's kind of the same mentality that I'm seeing around this a lot. It's like, oh, you want people to die if you want to restart the economy. You want people to die if you aren't wearing a mask when you go running. Like, wait a second. If you can prove to me that if I go run around my block without a mask, I'm going to kill one person, I won't do it. Guarantee I won't do it. There's no way in hell you can prove that to me. I guarantee you can't prove that to me. So, without causality, all we're talking about is associations, which goes to something I was talking about earlier. There's associations between drinking alcohol and having fatty liver disease. There's associations to eating a poor diet and being obese. I mean, it would be really easy if we could say 100% of people who eat this way are lean, healthy, whatever. That would be great. That doesn't exist. It's not causal. Everything is multifactorial. Everything is super complex. And to try to say that there's a really simplistic answer to a really complex problem is ridiculous. And we're engaging in politics when we do that. The truth is nobody knows. And the best medical evidence out there right now is just not very good. There's just not that much to hang our hat on. So it makes sense to keep trying new things because, like I said, there's a cost to everything. Are we slowing down deaths? Maybe. Let's dip our toe into the deep end a little bit, though, and see if we can not collapse the economy and still not increase deaths.